Prophecy, Isaiah 53:4c, fulfillment, Matthew 27 verses 41 to 43. Thought to be cursed by God. The prophecy found in Isaiah 53:4c foretells a poignant aspect of the Messiah's suffering, being perceived as if cursed by God due to the tremendous weight of the sins he would bear on behalf of humanity. This prophecy reaches its fulfillment during the crucifixion of Jesus, as depicted in the Gospel of Matthew. We witness the fulfillment of this prophecy, where onlookers scorn and mock Jesus on the cross, believing that his suffering was evidence of divine disfavor. Isaiah 53:4c states, "We esteemed him stricken, smitten by God, and afflicted." This passage reveals the heartbreaking aspect of how the people around the suffering Messiah would perceive him. In their limited understanding, they could not fathom the profound purpose behind his agony. The depth of his suffering led them to believe that God had turned away from him, leading to the perception that he was cursed or abandoned. The fulfillment of this prophecy is poignantly portrayed in Matthew 27 verses 41 to 43, where it says, "So also the chief priests, with the scribes and elders, mocked him, saying, 'He saved others, he cannot save himself. He is the King of Israel. Let him come down now from the cross, and we will believe in him. He trusts in God, let God deliver him now, if he desires him. For he said, I am the Son of God.'" This passage captures the cruel taunts and jeers hurled at Jesus while he hung on the cross. Those who witnessed his suffering mocked him, interpreting his vulnerable state as evidence of divine rejection. Several significant aspects emerge from the fulfillment of this prophecy. The suffering Messiah, Jesus, in his sacrificial act, experienced not only physical agony but also the emotional weight of being misunderstood and mocked. He bore the perception of being forsaken even by God. Redemption amid mockery. In the midst of this mockery, Jesus was fulfilling his redemptive mission. His decision to endure the cross was an act of immense love for humanity, paving the way for salvation. Divine plan unfolding. While the onlookers viewed Jesus' suffering as evidence of divine disfavor, it was, in fact, part of God's divine plan to reconcile humanity to himself through the atoning work of Christ. Practical application. Understanding God's plan. Reflect on the depth of God's plan for our redemption through Christ's suffering. His apparent vulnerability on the cross was part of his divine purpose to rescue us from sin and death. Empathy and compassion. As we meditate on this prophecy and its fulfillment, let it deepen our empathy and compassion for Jesus' suffering. We recognize the extent of his sacrifice for our sake. Responding to misunderstanding. Like Jesus, we may face moments when our actions or decisions are misunderstood by others. In those times, we can find comfort in knowing that even Christ faced such circumstances. Sharing the gospel. The fulfillment of this prophecy underscores the importance of sharing the true message of the gospel with the world. Just as Jesus' true identity was mocked, we should share the truth about who he is and the salvation he offers. Conclusion. The fulfillment of the prophecy in Isaiah 53:4c through the events described in Matthew 27 verses 41 to 43 portrays the poignant aspect of Jesus being perceived as cursed by God during his crucifixion. While those around him misunderstood the depths of his sacrifice, Jesus' suffering was a pivotal moment in God's plan for redemption. As we reflect on this fulfillment, may it deepen our appreciation for Christ's sacrificial love and inspire us to share the message of his redemptive work with a world in need of salvation.